Hope you can see my screen. Thank you so much for once again. Good evening, all. A very warm welcome. This is Neil here for your trainer. So I'm going to talk about today on this, Azure AZ-104 Associate Cloud Administrator demo class today. So we would be going to talk about so what is about course outline and what are the benefit we would be getting for this after completion of this course, and how do we prepare for the certification and how do we prepare for the interview point of view, right? So let me take a quick, so we would be going to talk about that introduction part later, so our registration done. So we are going to talk about today's Azure, the certification name called as AZ-104, the one of the trending where every company would be asking for, that is in every profile who are in a system administrator or senior system administrator, who are Windows Server administrator, and no matter other technology who are supporting, the cloud knowledge is most important. Cloud skill is most important current scenario. And in this cloud we have, that is in Microsoft Azure. Why we need to learn for the Microsoft Azure? We have, that is in the market, other vendor also, as you know, that is in AWS, and we have the GCP, which is other competitor with the Microsoft Azure, and who are already supporting for the cloud platform. Majorly these people, there are many other cloud private clouds are there, majorly who are supporting the service for others, GCP and AWS. So why we need to learn this Microsoft Azure, right? Basically we would have the more requirement comparatively other technologies or other platform vendor, other cloud platform, and we would have that good package, right? For this we would be going to use this in Microsoft Azure, or we need to learn this Microsoft Azure. And also who are background, no matter which background they are in, server administrator or network administrator, database administrator, right, backup administrator, and software development also can be learn this course, and they would be part of this in the cloud also, right? Development. So anyone are part of the technology supporting, they must learn this is Microsoft Azure. And basically who are supporting for the Microsoft Windows or Microsoft product, those people can easy to understand this Microsoft Azure platform. So now other platforms are who are in a Linux platform, right? And they can choose for the AWS and GCP, where they would be going with the choosing for the AWS. But ultimately we would be needing for the good package, and wherever whenever we are going to changing for our job changing, right, we would need to have the more requirement. So you should not have the decision more competition and more requirement, then would be our profile would be shortlisted and we will be getting a job. So hence we need to choosing of this Microsoft Azure to learn this. So existing skill set, existing experience, no matter which technology was supporting, but adding on this cloud, having a knowledge on the cloud, this is a more weightage for profile. So if interview asks a question, do we have a knowledge on cloud? Yes, you would be able to see just that more weightage will be here, right? Right. So we would be going to talk about this complete course of the AZ-104. So when we talk about Azure, there are a fundamental knowledge would be needed, right? Fundamental skill would be needed. If some people are fresher, no problem, but uh, it's basically basically it's required for some operating system knowledge, some server knowledge, basic networking knowledge required, right? Basic networking skill set, right? And overall this why we need a cloud, right? Why we need a cloud to understand this. So what is basically uh, cloud? What is cloud, right? You can say that Azure. So very simple definition. We have all the infrastructure already using, like we have the storage. When you talk about the data center, okay, which is my IT infrastructure, When I talk about IT infrastructure, we have the data center physically connected, right? Physically deployed, or you can say physically connected, a huge data center. We say this huge data center, which is huge money we invested, place all the hardware, devices, cabling, right? And in this, we are going to managing for the respective resources called, we need a storage administrator, server administrator, backup administrator, right? And network administrator, security administrator. So in a traditional method, on-premises environment, we talk about this IT infra. This is my on-prem environment. In this on-prem environment, we have the currently lot of disadvantages and huge expensive. You can call as a, so it is huge expensive where we are managing all our place, servers, hardware devices, software licenses, right? Everything we need to spend a lot of money and we need to implement, we need to develop everything. Or development, what we need to implement everything in physically. Then we need to hire the resource for to support storage administrator separate, server administrator separate, backup, network admin, security, no matter all the physically we are connecting. But what would be the outline is, if any issues occur, we will not be able to fix within the timeline, or we cannot say this all the time 24/7 available, right? Keeping in mind on this, what Microsoft has did it, he has created that is an across globally, across worldwide, created data center, data center. And Microsoft says whatever you are going to using in your traditional method and you are spending a lot of money, right? And all are available now, right? These are all available now. So you just don't invest single rupees for your place, your cabling, storage, all. Don't invest any single rupees physically, devices purchasing and all. But everything is, I will be, Microsoft has implemented everything. You just open the single portal, the portal called as https portal.azure.com. And in this portal, these are all the services are there, right? There are 300 plus services, 300 plus services available, which is already implemented. Huge automations are developed. And we talked about very few line. They had 300 plus services are there. You choose and you take what you needed and save the money, and you would be have all the infrastructure point of view 24/7, 100%, which is 99.999 available, and basically the less cost, right? It is easy that in terms of earlier people are going to the cloud, they were little worried about on security. It's a huge security they are giving for the Microsoft, which is 2FA multi-factor authentication, providing 2FA two-factor authentication, all aspects they are providing with the security point of view. And now when you come to the business, you don't need to have any specific place, right? And sometime you want to go with the hybrid, that is also be possible, where you have the few of infrastructure in on premises, plus you want to go with the Azure, so cloud, right? So basically what is cloud? Cloud is over the internet, over the internet accessing resources, right? Simple resources, and you can manage and support it. So wherever you are, you can access, just you need internet, over the internet accessing the resources with a secure manner, you would be accessing all the resources. But earlier traditional method, you will not be able to having like this feasibility, flexibility. You can't do that. But now when you go to the Microsoft Azure platform, where you can see this, when you open this platform, portal.azure.com, right? This is the first portal, and centrally this is a portal. And when you open this portal, right, you would have that all the services they keep on adding, keep on uh, uh, developing the many services, and if that services belongs to specific category, and they were keep on adding. When you click on this three line, you would be able to see this all services, right? So these services are comparatively 5 year back, right? It was very less, right? It was very less. Now Microsoft has made this complete one portal. You want to make with artificial intelligence plus machine learning, there are 22 services been added. Earlier it was very less, and keep on adding and keep on enhanced feature adding and bringing into this category. So if you minimize it, you would be able to see these other services is high level category. Microsoft is making developing it all these things. They say that is in, you tell us what you needed, we will be providing all the support, right? So one centralized location with a less cost, access what you needed in terms of license, software, database, servers, virtual machine, right? Networking, Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, what else you needed. So everything would be available. Please take it and utilize it and pay what you are going to use it. See this? So you have the lot of categories, right? Earlier, comparatively current date and the previous year, 5 year back, it was very less categorized. Now it's keep on adding, keep on implementing and keep on implementing enhanced feature, which is uh, AI, machine learning, analytics, compute. We talk about in AZ-104 the few areas in this. We are going to talk about in AZ-104 as part of the certification. So we are going to discuss the areas called. We would be talking about more on Azure networking. We would be talking about Azure virtual machine, which is part of the compute, and we would be to talk about Azure storage, right? And we will be talking about Azure Entra ID, which is called as a Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, and we would be talking about Azure Monitor and Backup, Monitor, Backup, and Restore, right? So these are all part of your certification, right? So when you see this global, what Microsoft is suggesting based on the uh, Microsoft certification point of view, you would be learning about this. These are the areas should be learning, and as I said here, you have the huge list of services are there. So the day by day, when become you are expertise in this cloud platform, and when you're moving to the cloud DevOps platform and the cloud automation platform, then you would be knowing for all these things what kind of services would be needing, right? So you see the networking, monitor, storage. These are all we are going to talk about. Now earlier we were having for that a separate administrator called storage, server administrator, backup administrator, network administrator, security. Now currently combined with all the administrator, we would be handling for the one person that become a cloud administrator, cloud admin. He should be handle, he should be aware about how this cloud platform, Azure platform works, and what are the services I need to handle in terms of this Azure 104. So when you talk about the certification, certification is a basically Microsoft recommendation is there is a first certification called as AZ-900, which is Azure fundamental, right? Since it will be covering with the Azure fundamental plus you'll be covering about Azure 104. You don't need to learn for the separate fundamental, right? This in this course I'd be covering about AZ-900 as well. So when you become a next level support, you would be going to learn for this AZ-104. This is called as associate cloud administrator. Now that next level, if you want to go with AZ-304 for solution architect, right? Solution architect. So it will be a little more advanced level. Then you don't want to go with AZ-304, then you can plan for, if you're good in Windows Server and Active Directory, you can plan for SE300, which is called as a identity access management. And you are good in network part, which is security part, you can also plan for the AZ-500, right? AZ-500, this is called as a Azure security engineer. So this is how we need to plan our profile, and this is how we need to upskilling ourselves to become a cloud security right? Become a cloud engineer. So you must learn this all the certification part. You would be knowing this is what kind of support we are providing in terms of the cloud security, associate cloud administrator. Then we must learn for these all the services, right? So let me present for the one, my presentation, how it would be, what are the things we are going to learn. This has become a associate cloud administrator, which is your Azure administrator. And so we'll talk about later my introductions. So this prerequisite is Microsoft is just asking for that. Is at least you should have some knowledge on this. So understanding the on-prem virtualization technologies, including VMs, virtual networking, and virtual hard disk. Basically, I hope everyone know these things, right? So who are into the already supporting your existing environment, who are already working on, you know, server administrator, senior server administrator, you aware about already, or who are in fresher in this forum, no problem. But these are all the basic things, but it would be needed for at least 1 week to learn on this, right? Understanding the network configuration, including TCP, IP, domain name system, DNS, virtual private network, VPN. These are all we will be going to talk about in upcoming classes. But having a basic skill, it is required as a prerequisite, right? Understanding active directory concept, users and groups, it will be going to easy to understand the every topic when you talk about directly, then you will be connect with that, because since already on premises we worked on that, so it's easy to understand those. And ultimately it is already using on premises and traditional method, we would be just moving to the cloud where we are accessing resources over the internet, right? And understanding some resiliency and disaster recovery, including backup and restore. If this is not there, no worries, but I'll be going to discuss in more detail in our part. So what are we going to talk about? It's to become a cloud administrator role. What we would be going to handle it. After completion of this course, you will be become a cloud administrator, manage the cloud service that spans storage, networking, and compute cloud capabilities with a deep understanding of each services across the full IT life cycles. Now, maximum people, if you talk about 70% infrastructure, 70% business infrastructure moving to the cloud, because first point of view, that is in huge reducing the cost. For business, people are always thinking about how to reduce the my expense every monthly, including employee salary, infrastructure, licenses, softwares. Keeping in mind, Microsoft giving you huge benefit to the business people, where they are reducing that is in huge cost. But when the infrastructure moving to the cloud, who will be supporting? Someone should be there supporting, right? Yeah, it is not only enough when the infrastructure move to the cloud. To who know the knowledge, who has the skills, those people will be hiring. And those people has to be managed for those who are moving to the cloud. So hence, currently, instead of on premise infrastructure, maximum people are hiring to then add on. It is a demanding, it is a mandatory to have a skill on cloud. Every employee, every candidate, they should have the knowledge on. It is a mandate. It's not optional. Earlier it was optional, but it is a mandate to have a skill on cloud. So last week, when I was in intro panel, right, the HR and project team member said, you need to pick that profile who has a knowledge on the cloud, who has experience on more than 6 years of experience, below 10 years of experience. There is a requirement needed for that is in hybrid support, where the candidate should have a knowledge on Windows Server, Active Directory, and cloud, and along with these three plus automation, which is called PowerShell. So it's a mandatory asked us who which candidate has this knowledge. Please continue with the interview and pick the profile and who are doing the best performing or best interviewer done that. So now, who are willing to change a job, who are needed for the good package, we have to have a learn for these skills no matter. There's no other options, right? So we wanted to survive in IT another next 5 to 10 years. We have to be learn this. There is no other option, because you know that already fresher who are coming to that, students who are coming to the just passed out, they are more capability than us. And smart people, they're immediately overtaking for our skills and job and learning more things. Who are having experience, if you're sitting in one skill, those people will be very soon outdated. it's become a legacy, right? So think about yourself and start learning, and go with the best teacher or best who should. Some people are going with the self learning, and some people are need for that to understand the concept every topic from basic to advanced level, and that make you to some understand, and at least you can explain during the interview how it works, and when you get the opportunities and you would be able to perform, right? So now when you become a cloud administrator, you would be able to handle this completely like full IT life cycle, how it is networking, compute, and all the capabilities of the understanding infrastructure, right? And now when you become a cloud administrator, you should understand that is an end user request for new whatever they have applications in a cloud application, make recommendations on services to use optimal performance, scale, as well as provision, capacity, monitor, and adjust the appropriate to this role requires a communicating and coordinate with vendors. So vendor or customer will ask you that what benefit you are giving me. So we need to explain them in a right manner, saying that is in your infrastructure, we need to assess their environment, and after assessing environment, we would tell them that is in how many physical servers are there, how many critical servers are there, how many application servers are there. We need to help the customer. These are the infrastructure you are, and you are spending huge money. And if you are coming to this cloud infrastructure, how we are supporting, which is provisioning all the capacity, how we are monitoring, how we are scaling up, right? The most important, how you're supporting, right? He will say that is in the 2 3 application servers are running, which is idle running for the some few days, and we were charging for that more, and we can help them to scale up. When they're using, it would be automatically scale up, and you're not using a scale down. We will be planning with automations technologies, right? And again, cloud administrators use Azure portal, where we would be using, I shown you that in Azure portal, we have the lot of services which is support we are going. Also, as I said, PowerShell, it is very much needed for the some automation things. And successful cloud administrators start this role, experience and operating system, virtualization, cloud infrastructure. Yeah, these are traditional method would be going to have this is storage, operating system, virtualization platform, right? As I said, certification part, when you talk about AZ900 is a fundamental, right? In this class, we would be going to talk about AZ900 plus AZ104 both, right? And you no need to have a specific or separately learn the AZ900. But when you become an expert, when you become a solution architect, you would plan for that is in AZ304. But ultimately, when you want to go with journey start with cloud infrastructure, from the Microsoft certification give you the professional edge by providing globally recognized industry and endorsed evidence of skills master, right? So some people have a more experience even the cloud, but those profile will not shortlisted, and we will be picking the profile for the who certified. Certified is make you that is in some professional weightage, right? That is authentication. We call as authentication person, right? Certification is make customer will be the customer will be asking that is in who are professional validated, who are certified. They'll be say that is, and company will service provider will say we have all certified employee. So certified means what? It is globally, which is Microsoft has globally, right? They made this person is certified, then he has a more skill, right? And Microsoft certified Azure administrator would be designed for Azure administrators who implement, monitor, maintain compute, storage, network, and security. These are all we would be going to talk about, right? In a certification areas where you are going to attending the exam, in that exam, that more areas to be covered. We would be discussing more on Azure Entra-ID, Active Directory identities and governance, implement and manage storage, deploy and manage Azure compute resources, configure and manage virtual networking, and monitor backup and resources. These are the percentage would be asking you for the exam preparation. 15 to 20% of Azure identity governance, 15 to 20% of storage, and 20 to 25% of compute, which is virtual machines, 25 to 30% of virtual networking, and 10 to 15% of backup resource. But we need to prepare well on this when you want to go with self exam preparation. So around $5,000 to $6,000, 5 to 6,000 Indian rupees for exam fees. and you can plan when you are all prepared well, then you can plan for the examination for this, right? So these are the course outline would be going to talk about one by one, but we would need for that is in a basic things for the registration of this your course, right? I mean, not course, but it is a account means what we would need for one credit card for Azure portal. Basically, when you wanted to log in with the Azure portal, you need to have the credit card and Microsoft account. It is a mandate to have. Then you would be able to log in Azure portal. So first, when you log into the Azure portal, you would be having that is in 30 days free subscription. You would get it, right? And later you would be getting for if you are a Microsoft certified trainer, you would be getting some Azure Pass, or you can go with Azure pay as you go subscription. It means so it will be whatever resource you are using, it would be going to chargeable and it won't be upfront deducted, but it will not make you to notification, and you would be getting the credit card whatever we have provided. The amount would be get deducted if the less than 5,000. If the more than 5,000, it will notify to you to the amount has to be paid. So if you talk to me that my account, it is mine is I had already used for the Azure Pass. When you go to the subscription here, subscriptions, and you would be able to see this is a pay as you go, right? So earlier I had used for the Azure Pass, it is been disabled now, it is utilized already, right? If you see the current cost would be the 181 rupees Indian. So you need to understand this very simple method. So once we have the portal logged in, we need to have that a simple terminology called subscription. What you mean by subscription, what purpose you're using. So these are all subscription would be coming for the free, right? Microsoft has given you the free. Some of the resources are, some of the services are given to you free to see that what kind of services are there, how these services are configuring, what are the benefit we are getting. We can feel that if you go to the portal. So if you ask that is in Azure free subscription, right? Free account, click on this Azure free account, you would be able to see this. Try Azure for free. When you scroll down here, you would be getting for the by default, so 200 credit you would be getting. Okay. So in this free, what are the benefit you would be getting? Available only for the new Azure customers, free monthly amount of 20 plus popular services, 12-month new Azure customer only, and free monthly amount 65 plus always free services. It is in this all free account. You would be managing only 28 days, right? And spending protections, credit card won't be charged. Yes. And no upfront commitment, cancel anytime, and move to pay as you go pricing to continue beyond the 30 days or after credit is used up, right? So Microsoft has given you $200 initially and with these services available. But when you move to the pay as you go, this page which is I have that is an already subscription with this, best for the customer ready to start building workloads, free monthly around these are all services benefit we would be getting, and access for the full catalog services with no caps and no service usage. Technical support options are available, no upfront commitment, cancel anytime, no action required for the continue beyond 30 days. You can anytime use it, but ultimately make sure that is in if the resources are required, then you can create it. If no need, then immediately delete it. You don't need that, right? So basically everyone should be knowing this is how uh, this Azure account would be opening and how I need to be work on this Azure portal, right? First most important, you need to log in to the portal, then you would be able to see these many services will be creating the when you talk about upcoming the topic called if you talk about when you talk about Azure networking, right? So when you talk about Azure networking, how to create Azure networking, which is called terminology of service called as a VNet. What is VNet? How to create it? What is subnet? How to create it? And if we created a virtual machine in a specific subnet and specific vnet, right? Virtual networking, how this has been uh, categorized, how it has been me. Basically, if you see this on premises we have that is in our infrastructure, which is one location to other location, how we connected physically, network routing configuration, cabling, everything they have done it, right? So same things, it is everything is you know established, background network connections already established, but only we need to configure. For example, now if you come back in my portal, right? If you see here, right? So some terminology you would be understanding, those terminology called as a said subscription. And second one is you should know that the resource group, RG, right? Resource group, these are all mandatory things to be known and mandatory things to be needed when you're creating any resource in the portal. Resource group and region. Okay, region, these mandatory things, subscription, resource group and region is a mandatory. Always we need to talk about, okay, which region you are going to creating your resource, right? Your data center is already available across worldwide. Worldwide means what? If you say, if you ask Azure global infrastructure, right? Azure global infrastructure, if you see, Microsoft already huge money invested for this infrastructure, and connected with the high faster, optical cable connected. You see this? So just only we would be our infrastructure where we wanted to create. See this? This is how that is in Microsoft has connected backbone across worldwide. This is all the region, and the high faster optical fiber background used connected, physically connected across location. You see this? And just we would be using this one portal, which is portal.azure.com. And what you want to do, if you want to create a virtual machine, go to the search the specific service and create a virtual machine, right? Create a virtual machine. It's asking you to where you want, what kind of subscription you would need it, the subscription you want to select for the pay as you go, and what is the resource group. And just you say, for example, create a resource group RG underscore VM example. We'll talk about more on that. What is this? How you want it to be? It's kind of folder, right? It's kind of folder structure. You need to be prepared. It's asking that is in what is the VM name? Is it the VM1, right? And region, it is a location where you want to be created this VM. You can see this when you scroll down here. Across worldwide they have created east, US, south, central, US, where you have seen this location right here. This is worldwide, and here you are going to creating your resources location, right? And choose for the practice purpose and learning purpose, you choose whichever service you wanted, but I usually recommend for the create for the central India, right? Central India. You can search here central India, right? And we'll talk about what you mean by availability zone, availability set, what purpose we'd be using, right? Security type, what is that meaning that we'll be talking. And image, you see this operating system image you are going to use, a Linux operating system, you wanted to know that you want to install Red Hat, you wanted to use it. Basically we would be going to towards our journey for all the Windows servers only, right? This is I'm selecting for the Windows Server 2019, and you need to provide for that is what is the size of the VM you are going to take, the size of the VM, 2 CPU, 8 GB memory, where we are deploying the VM in a physically, we will be selecting for the how much CPU, how much memory we are using, right? So this is how you are going to selecting. The just template is provided, backend everything is going to be automated and is going to create it. It's asking you for the VM name is need. You can provide this and you can say the password. It's a simple method, we would be going to use it, but only we should know that how the things works, and the practice is more insight required, right? And that's it. If is everything, if you go to the disk, right? Disk related, hard disk related, by default it was given you 127 GB, right? And the high faster SSD hard disk, and it would giving you chance of hard disk, what kind of hard disk you would be using. Since I'm using for the pay as you go, I don't want to go with in a standard which is SSD hard disk, which is high cost. I would go with the SDD only. right? If you see this, the automatically cost will be getting changed. If I am using for SSD, now it shows 12,503 for estimated cost for the monthly for the one VM. If I go to the standard SSD, you see the cost would be getting increased. See 12,842, right? And if you go to the standard STD, it will be changed to the my 12,503, around 300 rupees difference for in this, right? And let's go to the networking, where I was talking about how do you create your own network. But even though you are not created your VNet and subnet, but automatically it is taking from the virtual machine side, which is portal side. It is assumed that you would be going to take this VNet, and it's assumed that is by default taking for this subnet, right? We will be talking about in detail in the networking topic, how, what you mean by VNet, what you mean by subnet, how this is IP address calculation, all you would be going to managing, right? When you click on next, and all you can keep this as a feature, default one, and just go and quickly create it. If you see this, and it will be validating now. If everything is goes well, it will allow you to create the VM. You see that overall estimation cost for the 16,000 plus, and this is overall 1 month, which is every hour is going to be cost for this, right? When you go to the Azure pricing, this is also be given you the pricing calculator, right? So you can also manage for this, okay, which resource, which region, what are the resource I'm using, right? If you say virtual machine, I'm selecting virtual machine, and if you scroll down, and you are using this configuration, and which location you were talking about, and which location you want to deploy, and the billing part is a bit differ for the, depends on the location, right? And it won't be a same cost for the all the location, right? So East US Windows operating system standard, and if you select all the category instance, all, how many machines, virtual machine, 3 machine, or if you say 1 machine, example with this configuration, 2 CPU 8 GB memory, and you see this, how you wanted to go with the pay as you go, or, and sometime organization point of view and the productions use cases point of view, you want to go with the saving plan, you can also go with the saving plan for this. You have to pay for the front 1 year, how we are getting for the uh, postpaid connection, right? Where we are using that is in 1 month and we are paying the money. But here it is just for the normal recharge kind of, right? Where you can just recharge it every month. So again, you can also talk to the salesperson from Microsoft by saying that is in many service or many infrastructure we are using. Maybe that would be the cost will be get reduced, right? And the example is you would be getting for the one machine estimation cost we are getting for the $137 for the specific location. So we can same things where we can talk to the customer. We will bring in this page what are the assessment, what are the infrastructure they were using. We will add on that how many virtual machine they were using, what are the service or storage account, what is the database. You can just get the estimation cost in this portal. So we will be having some idea. Okay, so overall in this month, if I'm using, I'm getting this month, you can just export this cost, I mean this whatever the estimation cost, and you can send them. So this would be giving you all the more details, right? So always we need to keeping in mind for that is in our estimation cost, because ultimately we are moving to the cloud for what? Reducing the cost, right? Reducing the cost I would need for the high availability. You see the virtual machine location, and this is the configuration, and yeah, that's it. So if you're increasing for that is a more machine, and you're increasing the configurations, increasing the other services, it would give you the design estimation cost for the $274, right? So same things when you build it, it is giving you already upfront cost in my pay as you go. If you pay as you go, if you see this, and it's getting for that is in 13,000 for the monthly cost, right? I'm not going to create now this VM, so I'll keep it as it is. And so after validation, just you create it, VM would be created, right? And resource group would be created, and it will be easy method. This is a dashboard concept here. You can just search here, you will be getting all the services, and you will be getting for the Active Directory, which is earlier it was calling as a director services or Azure Active Directory. Now they renamed to the Microsoft Entra ID. For Azure Active Directory, they have renamed to the Microsoft Entra ID. If you click on here, and you would be able to see this Microsoft Entra ID, which is Azure Active Directory, where you would be going to creating a users, where you can see the tenant ID, where you can see the domain name, where you are going to create a custom domain, all you would be able to handle in this part, right? So yeah, benefit are more on this Azure, okay? And it is very much mandatory to learn for the everyone. You should have to have upskilling yourself and plan for your career accordingly, and you would be going to learn these many things, right? So that's it from my end. And if you have any question, feel free to ask, and I would be able to happy to answer your questions. We will be going to talk about more on this as per the syllabus. We'll talk about one by one topic. We'll be selecting Azure networking, Azure VM, Azure storage. We'll talk about. So anyone has any question, you can ask. Feel free to ask your question. You can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself from your end and you can speak. No questions. Feel free to ask your question if you have any generic something, you have any doubt, any confusion, right? And yeah, you can also text if you don't want to ask question. Are you covering is yes, I'm going to covering with Asian and as well. Show bit. Yeah. So whatever the fundamental topics are there, those are all will be covering for AZ 104. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Who is it? Yeah, Srinath, go ahead, please. Is it allowed to skip fundamental?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can directly take it exam. No problem. Swapnil.
Anil, may I know like what is the duration of the course like for?
This course duration would be 30 hours. It's a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Each classes it would be 3 hours, 4 hours per weekend per week, and probably we will be having one. You can consider up to 5 to 6 hours, 3 6 week.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fees you can talk about our point of contact or collaboration with Amit. You can, if anyone has any questions, please talk to with the timing and fee structure. Amit is a point of contact. Please talk to him. I'll just give him his contact number 954062 his number. Please contact him for the fees and timing. Yes, Apnil, it is, since is 104 is associate cloud administrator, you can skip it. You don't need it. If specifically asking in your office, then you can plan for the fundamental exam. It will be, you can directly take that AZ 104, where you can see when you go to the AZ 104 exam, okay, it will be redirecting to the your portal for Microsoft certified. So it would be giving you that is in scheduling the exam for, and some your office would be giving you some voucher if you provided. You see this $165 if you select for the India, right? How much amount? It will be 4,865 rupees. Click on the schedule exam. You proceed with this how you want it to. You see this? It will be, you need to fill the information, your personal information, then you can plan it. Okay. After submitted, validation of process is completed, then you would be having that allow you to schedule the exam date and all will be getting exam registration. Please proceed with the PSN view the portal to advance with your exam registration. If you have a voucher code enter that is in, this is all be available where your office providing some voucher also, right? Or you wanted to pay from your own, then you can proceed the same portal. Okay, Srinath, you got your answer? Anyone has any question still? All right, so thank you so much guys for today time. Again, yeah, Srinath, you raise a hand. Anyone has any question, something? You written someone? Yeah, is it allowed to? Yeah, it's allowed to for this. Shall we complete the Azure fundamental certification first? No, not required, Srinath. Okay, you don't need to be, just to have a skill on AZ 900 for which we are going to teach you, but you can plan directly for AZ 104. Okay, so anyhow, that is all the topic would be covering by default in AZ-104. Okay, all right. So if no question, let's wind up now. So whoever interested, whoever like this today's demonstration, please contact to the meet, and let's connect with the next class. Okay, take care, guys. Bye bye.